Welcome to the Faith-Fueled Christian Comeback Podcast. This is the show for ambitious Christian women who are ready to rebuild after loss, transition, or disappointment has tried to write your final chapter. I'm your host, Donna Woolam. I'm your faith-fueled growth coach and the founder of Journey to Wholeness and my signature program, Heart Code. If you felt invisible, stuck, or uncertain about your purpose in this season, you're not alone, and you're not too late. Each week, I share stories, coaching insight, and biblical truth to help you start again with courage and clarity. Want to go deeper? You can download my free private podcast, Your Next Chapter Map, a 5-day faith-fueled reset to help you rediscover your purpose and rebuild with God. You can get it at donnawoolam.com. There is this thing about life when you find yourself after a situation that has knocked your feet right out from under you. Of course, I call these life-altering experiences, and it could be anything. It could be, like for me, the death of my husband. It could be a divorce. It could be a job ending that you thought you would be in forever. It could be that you've had to move across the state, move across the country, and you are in unfamiliar territory. But here's the thing about these, is that they shake us to the core of who we've always been and who we think we are now. And as I'm thinking about this and about getting our feet knocked out from under us, I wonder if you felt like I have before, that you thought that you might be experiencing some kind of adventure and the world is all alien and strange around you. And I'm not thinking about the beauty of an Avatar movie, but more in line with the movie Dune. And yes, cinematically, those movies are beautiful. But if you were the one who was standing out in the middle of that desert, not knowing where you were, what you were doing, and how you were going to move forward, all of that dust swirling around you would knock you out of balance, keep you off focus, and you would wonder, is there any help for me? And I have felt that entirely. And I'm guessing maybe you have too. If you're hanging out here with me on this podcast, then you have experienced that too. And so today, I want to think just a little bit about what we do when we feel like that we are looking in a mirror in the morning and not even knowing who that woman is that's looking back at us. I often think of Hagar in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, when I think about a life that was going one way and flipped and became something else. We see Hagar in a couple of different ways. First of all, we know that she is an Egyptian woman. She was brought with Abram and Sarai after they came up out of Egypt, and she was a slave, more or less. She became the wife, the second wife of Abram, and she was able to have a son, and Sarai wasn't. And because of that, there was a lot of jealousy in the relationship, because the promise was to Abram and Sarai that they would have this child that would change the world and would carry all the blessings and all the benefits of the promise that had been made to Abram. And here Sarai is not able to have a child, and Hagar does, and Sarai is jealous, and there's a little bit of competition there. Maybe Hagar's not acting in the best way, just showing off a little bit about what she's able to do that Sarai can't. And Hagar is sent out into the wilderness, and she doesn't know what's going to happen out there. Now she's lost her home, she's lost her family, she's lost her ability to be supported. And this isn't the only time that this happens to her. We see that again later when she and Ishmael leave. But in this moment, she has an encounter with God. And he tells her to do something really hard, which is to go back to Abram and Sarai. She had run away because it was so painful. And God said, no, I need you to be there. I need you to go there and be there. There's a purpose, and all of this pain that you are experiencing, I need you to go back there. But something interesting happens there is that Hagar calls the God that she encounters El Roy, the God who sees me. In her encounter later on with her son Ishmael, and she has this encounter with God in the desert, she discovers him to be Jireh, the God who provides. And we often wonder, does God see us in the middle of this horrible, heartbreaking situation? And I have discovered that, yes, he does. And I hope that you discover that too, if you haven't already. And that in the middle of all of this circumstance, when life feels so unstable, like you're on that surfboard, like you're stuck in the water, like there's some sort of, you're in a cage and the great white shark is after you, or on dune, and you know that there has to be something out there for you, but you just can't see it. That there is this place in your journey where God is ever present. And he wants to, and I know it can feel like a cliche. It's the scripture, but it can feel like a cliche that he wants to take what is causing you the most pain and turn it into something that is healing and hopeful and strengthening for you. I've discovered that what happens in those moments when we are most afraid and most unsure is that God calls us out even deeper into our relationship with him. He desires for us to know him on deeper and deeper levels. And this always, in these moments, makes me think about Peter and the disciples in the boat, in the storm, in the middle of the ocean, or well, not the ocean, but the Sea of Galilee. And here they are, many of them, though not all of them, many of them trained professional fishermen, acquainted with this environment. And there's no question that Simon Peter, James, John, Andrew all knew that they were in a situation that was pretty dicey. And when they look up, they see this figure on the water, and it is Jesus coming to them, tossed and turned and freaked out about what's going on. They're all wondering, is it a ghost? Or Jesus says, no, it's me. And Peter says, if it's you, command me to come to you. And inside of you is that woman who is a water walker. It's not that you don't understand how hard things are for you right now. It's not that you don't understand that if you go out deeper, it's going to require more of you, but you are not satisfied with the life that you're living in this moment. You're not content with the discontent. You're not satisfied that this is all that there is to life. You cannot believe that everything that you have gone through has led you to a moment where nothing matters. And I'm going to tell you that God doesn't want you to believe that nothing matters either. He wants you to know that the things that you've gone through, this great depth of grief, this heartbreak that makes it hard for you to put your feet out from underneath the covers, much less to move forward with boldness and confidence, that this same God sees you in that struggle and he wants to be strength to you in the middle of it. Finding your feet again after a storm doesn't mean that you're pretending that something bad didn't happen to you. Unfortunately, that's what a lot of people around us want us to feel like, that we're just we've always been capable, we've always been strong, we've always been able to take care of things. And unfortunately, many of the people around us want us to just do that again. But when the breath is knocked out of you and you don't know how you're going to move through, it takes a lot of courage to say, Lord, command me, send me back out there again. Help me find the woman that you created me to be. I love the thought that God sees us in those most desperate, desolate moments. We hear David's Psalms when he was in the cave of Adullam, feeling like that he had lost everything. But there was God in the middle of that. Jesus in the garden saying, I don't like this, Father, but if it's your will, I'll do it. It's the Apostle Paul who had believed one way his entire life about the Messiah, and then being confronted by the Lord himself that maybe he'd missed a little bit of the story. It's Hannah, who wanted a child desperately and who found herself with that child and giving that child to the Lord, who became Samuel, the prophet and leader. We never know what's going to come out of our deepest pain. Paul never expected that he would write the multitude of the New Testament. Hannah knew that she wanted to honor the Lord with Samuel, but she never expected that he would become a leader of the nation. When Ruth decided after the death of her husband and that Naomi was going back to Bethlehem, she never thought that whenever she went with Naomi and married Boaz, that her lineage would include the Messiah of the world. We can't give up. We just can't, darling girl. We cannot give up in the middle of our pain. We do not yet see on the other side, but God does. And He has a plan that He is working out for you after all of this grief, after all of this disappointment, after all of this loss. Life is not done. You can get back up on your feet. You can start walking. And maybe, like Peter, you're going to fall into the water. But this is the beautiful thing about that too, is that Jesus was there to take his hand and lift him up and take him safely to the place he needed to be. I want to encourage you today to take a deep breath and look out there at those waves, whether they are the waves of water or the waves of sand, or they are the waves of your emotion. Look at those waves and remember that you were made to walk on the top of them, because the God who sees still sees you. If this has been helpful for you today, I would love it if you would grab a copy of the You Are Seen prayer cards that I have for you. They're really simple. There's 7 of them. They have 7 different themes. You can print them out. You can save them as a graphic for your phone. There's a sheet where you can print out the whole sheet, where you can have them to tuck inside your Bibles, tuck inside your bag. I've also got some prayer audios for you, some guided prayer, not guided meditation, but guided prayer for you to pray through some of the hard places. And I would just love to give those to you. So if this has been a blessing to you, if it's been a help to you, the link is in the show notes, but you can go to donnawoolam.com/prayer cards and grab those. Not anything to buy there. It's just a gift to you. And just remember that today is not the end. In fact, if you're willing for it to be, it can be a glorious new beginning. Thanks for joining me today on the Faith-Fueled Christian Comeback Podcast. If something in this episode has stirred your heart, please don't push it aside. You don't have to figure out this next chapter alone. Download my free private podcast, Your Next Chapter Map, at donnawoolam.com. It's a 5-day reset that will help you reconnect with your purpose and reignite your God-given dreams. And when you're ready for support, book a free Courage Builder call. I'd love to walk with you.